Welcome to the Core Truth. My name is Peter Hernandez. I'm your host, and today I have Assaf Sinai with me from our Las Vegas Douglas Elliman office. Assaf, welcome to the Core Truth.
Thank you. Nice being here.
It's really
I've
good to
seen,
have you, Assaf. You know, it's
yeah.
um, it's so exciting that we're in Las Vegas now, and really because of you. You're the reason. I know you went and spoke to Howard directly and said we got to be in Las Vegas. And tell us a little bit about that. I know I'm going off topic, but tell us a little bit about that. How you got the idea
It,
and how you convinced Howard to even allow us to do this.
Vegas is a great market, and I always had a strong connection to the market, and I knew that Elliman will do well, and I tried to be the broker's broker at some point 5 or 6 years ago, and introduced a very strong team to Elliman. It didn't work out. Fast forward, I want to say almost 2 years ago, I spoke
Mhm.
to Howard on a Friday afternoon, and I asked him, Howard, how are you not in Vegas yet? He didn't have a good answer, which is a first,
Mhm.
and I just said to him, look, let's just do it. I can get us up and running in 2 weeks. I'm licensed in the state. It's not going to take much. And he looked at me and he said, "Can you do it in 2 weeks?" And I said, "Of course." And that's how it started. And within two
Unbelievable.
weeks, we were ready and open for business. I think
That's really amazing.
this was the first time that in Element's history that we started an office from scratch or state from scratch. It wasn't by way of acquisition or anything like that. It was
No,
just starting from
just
zero.
purely you saying, I'm going to post a shingle and open a door, and here we are, Douglas Elliman. That's how it happened.
That's how it happened. It made a lot of sense. It's a strong market, and just by seeing the amount of referrals that came through from other regions into other agents and other brokerages in the state and in the city, it was clear that there was a need for us to be there. I mean, I think this is one of the biggest saying of Howard. We are where our customers are. We are where our clients are, and
Mhm.
Vegas was certainly one of them.
Why do you think that is, Asaf? Why do you think that's an important market for us to be in?
So I lived in the East Coast for many years, and I always say Vegas is almost like the Florida of the West. It has it represents great value for money in terms of real estate. It's a lot cheaper to live,
Mhm.
and the tax issue is obviously becoming a bigger burden on men in California
Mhm.
or the Northwest. We're seeing a lot of
Mhm.
traffic coming from Washington and other
Mhm.
and Oregon actually. So it's very attractive. It's
Mhm.
very attractive. At the same time, we are feeding other markets like Utah and Arizona, and it just almost like a little hub, and it's a busy one. Our market is really strong, and that represents people's desire to be there and live there.
Mhm. Well, we like to be in luxury markets, Douglas Elliman, I'm referring to, and we like to be in no tax or low tax markets. Um, Vegas is both. It's a luxury market and it's a no tax market. But there's even more than that going on in Vegas. Tell us about some of the things that are happening in Las Vegas that make it so unique to this country right now. Some of the more exciting things that you're seeing happening.
Well, there's so much. First of all, sports team. Everybody are just going crazy. We have the Aces, we have the Raiders, um, we have the F1 in November. There's just a lot going on with sports and entertainment, and the Sphere just opened. It's magnificent.
Have you
If
been
if
there to the Sphere yet?
I have, and
What was it like? I mean, I'm seeing these like little short, videos of Bono singing in this like crazy environment. What's happening there?
the graphics from the outside and the inside are just mesmerizing. You're just in awe of everything that's going on around you, and I've never seen anything like that. It's just a lot of people get sick from it because it's so realistic when you're
Yeah,
sitting there that they have a
that's what I
special
hear.
room. They have a special room for people who feel
Like if you have vertigo or
seasick,
something.
vertigo or seasick, and it's very steep. So if you always feel like you can topple over and fall. It's very unique venue, and it's an experience for
Unbelievable.
sure. It's not just the show; it's the venue itself and everything that's going on in there. The technology is unbelievable.
Well, you have my football team in Las Vegas because I was a huge, huge, huge Los Angeles Raiders fan when they were here, and so sorry we lost that team, but I'm glad it's in one of our areas, in one of our states. So, what's the market like in Las Vegas right now? Is it are you experiencing a little bit of a slowdown like the rest of the world, or is the market still strong? What are you guys seeing?
So it slowed down a little bit. I think it's a combination of both the market and interest rate, and at the same time, it's the season. As we're getting closer to Thanksgiving and Christmas, it slows down naturally.
Mhm.
And low inventory is still an issue. We
Mhm.
don't have much of it, and it's almost like it's separated. So the luxury market is still doing well. Those buyers are buying cash. They're not really affected by interest rates or anything like that.
Mhm.
We're actually now in contract. One of our agents is in contract for the highest priced house in Las Vegas.
Wow,
Um, with a buyer that came in strong at ask, cash buyer. It was unbelievable.
interesting.
Deal was was
Interesting.
was done in 2 days. Yeah, and at the same time, if you're looking at the million to three, where people are taking some sort of financing, that becomes a little harder. Product
Mhm.
is not moving as fast, but it's still moving. If it's priced
Mhm.
well, it will
Well,
move.
well, you describe the market as a feeder market. I don't know that everybody knows what you mean by that. What is a feeder market?
We get a lot of clients that are coming from our other regions, mostly
Mhm.
Southern California. So Southern California feeds us with a lot of leads, a lot of buyers. Um, Another feeding market is New York. Actually, a lot of New Yorkers are moving to Las Vegas
Mhm.
if they don't like the climate in Florida. So we're getting a lot of those, and it's just amazing. I think 80% of our business is California,
Is that
Southern
right?
California to be particular.
Interesting. Now, do you think people are leaving California permanently or just buying second homes in Las Vegas? What are you seeing?
It's a primary second home. So
A primary second home. I like that.
they'll do the 181 rule. So they'll spend at least 181 days in Las Vegas, but they will
Uh-huh.
still maintain their California homes.
Yeah.
Um, it's interesting. I think a lot of them are not feeling that it's a great time for them to sell in California, whether it's market conditions or low interest rate that they have on the house that they own there. So they're just maintaining that residency there, and at the same time they're in Vegas and enjoying the lifestyle and the tax benefits.
It's interesting because I think people are more mobile now. So living in Las Vegas half the year, living in California half the year is probably perfect in many ways. You can time your weather, you can time the tax benefits and all those different things. So I think it's a really, really good idea. Well, Asaf, you were a really, really good agent, as I understand, in New York, and you had a very successful career, and you made the move to go into management, which we all do at some point in our careers when we decide that we want to maybe give back or build something or do something different. What was your motivation for going into management?
So I didn't actually think about going into management. I just wanted to start the office. That was my drive. And then once we started the process, I
Mhm.
I sort of got into the role of management, and maybe because it's not, I always used to be in management positions, and I always owned my own businesses, starting in restaurants, and then managed my own little brokerage in New York. Um, it was a natural thing for me to do. I spoke the same language that our agents are speaking. I know the
Mhm.
challenges, I know the
Mhm.
obstacles, I know exactly where they are in the cycle, and and I just understand exactly what they go through.
Yeah.
And having that connection with them is everything. Is
Mhm.
everything. I feel it, and I talk to them almost on a daily basis. Um, so I don't see it as management. Really, it's for me. It's not
Well, you're the
management. For
broker
me,
of
it's
record
just
now. I mean, you're actually the broker of record. So, you have to not only manage the office in many ways, but you've got to also like keep the agents compliant, stay on top of all the new changes in our laws and contracts and things. So, how do you build that all into that plus starting an office from scratch, which means you're also taking out the trash, figuring out where the paper clips go. I mean, all these different things that people don't even think about, you're doing on a daily basis.
well. Thankfully, we're in Nevada and not California, so our real estate rules and laws are a little bit different and a little um, it's a
Not
little
as many.
simplified. Not as many.
Right.
Um, so it's a lot easier to keep up with things
Oh, by the way, in
in
California, I got
terms
to
of
take my
compliance.
5 minute break right now, or I'm out of compliance. No, just kidding.
I have to stand up, I guess, every 10 minutes or every something.
Yeah,
I don't know. They have
yeah,
all kinds of rules.
yeah,
Um, so we don't have many changes. The compliance is very it's good, but it's basic, which is it allows to do transactions.
hmm
Um, and yeah, look, when I started this office, for 3 months I was sitting in a small WeWork office, just putting it together, piecing it
right.
together, and it was an interesting process. Only after 3 months we had our first agent, Avi, that joined us,
Canada.
and started operating. um, and as we grew, things have changed and improved, and it's important to provide great environment, but I also had great support from you and our leadership team in the Western region, and at the same time, everybody from New York who's handling different parts of the business, whether it's marketing or technology, or licensing. There's so many components into this, but the organization really came through and was excited actually to start this off. So I had
Yeah.
great support. Um,
But it's amazing
and
because you started off, like you say, with you and Avi, really, that was it. And then now all of a sudden you're up to what, 100 agents?
we have just over 100 agents,
That's a
and
short time to grow that fast, Assaf. You're growing. So, are you the fastest growing office in Las Vegas right now?
without a doubt.
Without a doubt, right? And the most exciting, and I think getting the most attention in Las Vegas right now. I think it's amazing, and you have your partner Don helping you run it, and you've got his whole team there as well. So this is just an amazing organization that you've helped grow. If you were to like talk to a manager right now, put your manager hat on, and you're giving advice to a manager, what would you say is how you run a great office? If you were giving a manager some advice,
Talk to the agents, have an open door policy, and be proactive. Call them, keep the pulse, keep checking on them. If you see that they're not transacting, if they're slow, see what's going on, pick up the phone, call them. um, those conversations are important. First of all, what's going on with them. It's usually um, something personal that happens to them that's stopping them from transact, and if
Mm,
they're stuck, you're just gonna be out there to give them a helping hand and pull them back into the ring.
I love that.
And
So it's having those daily conversations, coaching, being their
it's
support, because they're going to pull back, aren't they? They're not going to reach out to you. You need to reach out to them. I think that's what every manager needs to hear right now.
it's exactly what I'm saying to the agents. In a slowing market, it's going back to the basics. And
Yeah.
for me, as a manager, the basics are communicating with them and helping them, and make sure that they're okay.
Yeah.
I don't want them to feel that they need to come to me only when they have an issue in their file
hmm
or something goes on in the transaction. It's not about
Exactly.
that. We're all people. We're all having our cycles, our personal cycles, and and you just need to understand a little more about them, about their lives, and why they struggle, or how you can support them.
What skill sets should a manager develop that you think would benefit them, or what skill sets should they even have if they're thinking about getting into management? And if they don't have it, then they shouldn't. I mean, like I for example, I knew a great agent that wanted to get into management, but he didn't have the patience and tolerance to deal with all the personality types and all the work ethic types and all those things, and got extremely frustrated and quit and went back to sales almost within a week because he was so frustrated from working with agents. So there are definite skill sets. There's definite mindsets managers that need to have. What would you say some of those are?
Well, just like you said, patient intolerance is one. It's a big component of it.
Mm-hmm.
Understand that it's not one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's different, and if I got 100 agents, they're all different.
Mm-hmm.
It's like operating 100 different businesses under
Mm-hmm.
one roof.
See, there's a very valuable insight right there, everybody. It's like operating 100 different businesses under one roof because each agent is their own business, aren't they, Assaf?
Absolutely. Every client has the ability to choose an agent, and it's based on, as many of you know, personality, dedication, marketing materials. Everybody's different, and every agent
Mm-hmm.
has a different skill set, and it's a business in its own. So understanding that is important. I'm not trying to change what they're doing. I'm trying to enhance what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're not forcing a change, it's a lot easier
Yeah.
to get them to succeed.
Yeah.
It's almost like having kids. When you say
Oh, very much. Yeah.
don't, it's never gonna work out. But when you explain why and you try to show them maybe a different way,
Mm-hmm.
or use examples that other agents might tried and it worked for them, it makes a big difference. It makes a
Mm-hmm.
big difference, and they take the advice and they try it, and sometimes it works.
Culture in an office is very important, as we know. In fact, most agents don't come for compensation. I mean, yes, they're interested in getting the best deal they can, obviously from their company, but they want to join something special. They want to join an office with a culture that they fit into. I know you build great culture in your office, and I think it's a culture of caring. Whenever I talk to you about any situation that's going on in your office or anything that we're working on in particular, I sense from you a real caring, a real kind of love for your agents. Talk to me about that. I mean, you do. I
They're
mean,
not
I
my
think I got a
agents.
feeling you don't even sleep at night sometimes thinking about things and stuff. And that's what I imagine. Is that true?
It is, and they're not my agents. First of all, they're my friends. I see them
Mm-hmm.
as close friends, and it's important. Don Cool, who's is our executive sales manager, is doing the exact same thing. Um, and we're seeing all those agents not just as agents, as producers, as some will refer to them. We see them as friends and close friends, and
Mm-hmm.
we're really just trying to grow together as a whole, as a team, as an office,
Mm-hmm.
and by doing so, personally help them and elevate their business, and show them a path for growth.
Mm-hmm.
And really, it's that feel, it's that vibe of a family, rather
Mm-hmm.
than an office.
When you have agents banging on your door to join, which you do, and everybody wants to get into the Douglas Elliman agent office in Las Vegas, what are you looking for in an agent? What are your filters that when you're talking to an agent, is it just if they're super successful, or are there other factors you're considering?
It's actually, for me, it's mostly the character itself, the personality. I
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure that this person not necessarily is the highest producing agent in the segment. I want to see that agent um, is striving to succeed. He's looking for mentorship. He's trying, or she's trying to find ways to elevate herself personally and within the business.
Mhm.
Getting an agent that's been doing this for 30 years with a book of business,
Mhm.
it's sometimes it's a lot easier. It's usually a numbers game. I don't want to get an agent and basically give him a deal or her a deal. I want to grow a team.
Mhm.
One of those agents, and I think he was on the same call that we're on now, JD. He's a great example. He
Mhm.
As soon as we opened, he reached out to our PR person, Priyanka, and asked
Mhm.
her how he can join. Since he joined, his business grew in ways that you can't imagine. He's really leaning into the business and taking every support that he can from anyone, whether it's
Mhm.
me or Don or you or
Mhm.
anyone else,
Mhm.
and it shows.
Leaning in. You mentioned that word leaning in, which is a big part of our culture here at Douglas Elliman, and a big part of the culture of Las Vegas Douglas Elliman. And leaning in means that you sit in the front of the row, in front of the room. You get in the center of the pack. You're not on the fringe. You're not on the edges. You're not looking from the outside in. You're actually in the middle, participating at Douglas Elliman, like you say, taking advantage of all the resources. JD is such a great example of that. With his podcast. I mean, he flew out to Los Angeles. He presented at the Beverly Hills meeting. He goes around. He reaches out to the Douglas Elliman agents. He is building a network of referrals the way Douglas Elliman was intended to operate. And that is that the agents talk and collaborate and network together. I mean, every event we do, Assaf, is based on that, based on bringing agents together so they can do deals. That's the magic.
Absolutely. And look, when you ask how do I vet the agents that are knocking on our door, this is part of it. So if an agent will sit in front of me and ask me how many leads we provide, as soon as I hear that question, I know that this agent is probably not a good fit, and I'm already starting to doubt
But
whether I
why?
should spend the
Why?
time.
Why do you know that when they say that?
Because it means that they're looking to be fed
But
with
this isn't the
deals
way it
rather than
works in
go
the real
out.
world, is it? This isn't the way it works in the real world, though. It's an eat what you kill business, isn't it?
Absolutely. So it's a fundamental understanding of what you're doing, and if you're asking that sort of question, it means and it shows that you're not really in that business. I don't want to. I don't want to buy you a fish. I want to teach you how to fish,
Correct.
and you know, so leaning in is like I said, is going out and create your own referral network within the organization, and
Yeah.
then outside of the organization you have to do the work.
Mm.
You have to do the work. You have to go and you have to farm, and there's a lot of work that goes into it. If you
Mhm.
just want to go and buy leads or expect your brokerage to provide leads, it's not really sustainable.
It's not sustainable. They're going to take a huge chunk of your money out of it, and honestly, they don't have any to give you anyways. So why are you doing it that way? You have to understand. You said at the very beginning, you're managing 100 individual businesses, 100 entrepreneurs within your organization, and you have to have that entrepreneurial mindset. You have to if you're going to be in this business.
Absolutely. I mean, look, a lot of people are joining this business because they think it's easy money. They
Hmm.
think it's easy money. You're putting it on the MLS or Zillow or whatever it is, and then you get phone calls. You make a deal happen, and you make
Hmm.
a lot of money. That doesn't
Yeah.
work.
No,
And
sure
then we
doesn't.
had agents that joined because they saw some of our agents on TV, and they felt
Yeah.
that's great. I can put on a beautiful suit, and business is just gonna fall in my lap.
Right. Right.
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't happen.
All right. So let's talk about how it does work. Let's talk about how it works, Asaf. Let's get into some lead generation tips. Let's get into some work ethic. Let's get into some, Let's get into the nuts and bolts of the business, like you called it, back to basics.
Back to basic is what I'm saying to them. You have to first of all really redefine your sphere, past clients, existing clients, friends, family, organize them in a way that you can communicate with them so they remember that you're still in business and that you're still doing great, and they can still refer business to you, and you can use that in so many ways, whether it's social media or if you're leveraging your CRM to communicate. It's
Mm-hmm.
key and it's basic and it doesn't really take much. Once you build that infrastructure and that system, it's really um, very easy and very simple. We have an agent, Michelle Sullivan. She is, so strong on social media,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not that
Smart
strong
as
on
a
that.
whip. That agent's smart as a whip, let me tell you.
And look, she told me the same way I wake up every morning and I brush my teeth, I post something,
Mm-hmm.
anything. Um, Fran Katzen, another agent from New York, she's doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just you gotta keep yourself in people's awareness, and it starts with your own sphere, and it just grows from there.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta start and farm. Identify where you want to focus, where you want to transact, and start
Mm-hmm.
farming. There's no shame.
Mm-hmm.
People are thinking, oh, sending mailers and flyers. Sometimes it's a little tacky or it's a little um, beneath them after having 3 or 4 years, crazy years.
Yeah,
So what? We're gonna have to start and send postcards today? Yes,
exactly. Yeah.
yes, yes. A lot of those residents have changed. Market's been very active and very different. So
Mm-hmm.
the probability is that many of those residents don't know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Introduce yourself, and by putting yourself out there. Go to social events, create social events, volunteer. It's really doing the work, especially in a quiet market or during the holidays. There's a lot of opportunities for you to go out there and cultivate and build a pipeline. Um, so
It's
this
a good
is
opportunity to do those things when the market slows down, isn't it? You can
uh,
actually spend some time on your marketing, on your branding, on developing your sphere of influence better and reorganizing everything and creating your systems and doing all these things that you're saying. And why do you think, Asaf, agents are resisting going back to basics? What are they struggling with?
I think a lot of it is habits. Changing habits is difficult for everyone, and when you haven't done it in a while, uh, it takes some work. It's like if you haven't worked out in 5 years, going to the gym once or twice a week is a tough one.
It's going to hurt.
It's gonna hurt, and you gotta be persistent
Hmm.
and consistent
Hmm.
and do the work for
Hmm.
it to work,
Yeah.
for this to be a success. Um, so it's really breaking bad habits, or you know, a lot of it in our business is ego driven. There's a lot
Hmm.
of egos in our business, and
Well, you need a strong ego, I think, to
you
be good
need
in
a
this
strong
business.
ego, and you
Yeah.
need to have
Or maybe
you need to
self-esteem is a better word than ego. You have a
self-esteem
strong self-esteem. Yeah.
character. You can call it in a million different ways,
Right.
and when you've been very successful for a long period of time, now it's slowed down. Sometimes you feel like, again, what am I going to send mailers out?
I have to do
Do I
this
have to go
again.
and I have to do this again? They feel like
Didn't
they're
I
going
graduate?
backwards. Exactly, they feel like they're
Yes,
going backwards, but it's not really. It's an evolving business, and you have to stay relevant.
you do. And you know what? We have to stop saying back to business and we have to go back to saying, back to basics and start saying, you know, it's always the basics. We can never leave the basics because this whole back to basics. Like why would we ever leave the basics? We should stay in the basics, right? And just keep your business booming if you do that.
Oh, I agree, and this is what differentiates a good or great agent to an extremely successful agent. Those who don't stop,
Yeah.
even
Well,
even even in the highest point in business, they will still do the basics.
they will. They absolutely will. Well, Assaf, this has been super enlightening. What's the future for Las Vegas? What do you see us growing out there? What do you see Elliman moving forward in Las Vegas?
Well,
What's your vision?
continue to grow with good agents, not just count, and really developing a great business with our new development. We're the only ones that are marketing two very exciting projects in Vegas now. After 20 years that high rise has been stopped, so this is very exciting for us. And this is where we elevate the Elliman sphere and the Elliman connections and experience um, to do those developments and support those developments.
What are the developments you're talking about?
So Four Seasons is the first one. Four Seasons in Henderson,
Okay.
in McDonald Highlands. Kristen Roth Silberman is the agent that leads the sales there for us, and she's been selling like crazy.
Mm,
Record numbers, and she's outpacing the resale market,
wow.
which is crazy. Another project that just started is in Summerlin, which is
Mhm,
another big area in Las Vegas on the west side.
mhm.
It's another high rise that with details to be shared very soon. We're still working on finalizing that project
Mhm.
with the EDM, with our development marketing team, and it's very exciting.
It really gets our competitors a little anxious when they see us pulling in these big developments, which is a huge part of the element value proposition is that we can list anything. We can list the biggest developments in the country, the biggest properties in the countries, and we're great with the first time buyers. We love working with first time buyers. So it's not like we're exclusive, but I think our platform's exclusive, and I think what we offer our agents and what we offer our clients is truly amazing.
Oh, this is the one thing that nobody else in Las Vegas can offer. We're not a local brokerage or franchise.
Yeah.
We're a great big team. I think it's over 7,200 agents now, about
Mhm.
120 offices, working as one team. It's priceless.
Yeah, it is. Well, Asaf, it's such a pleasure to work with you on our leadership team. You do such an amazing job out there, and
Thank you.
you were the vision for Las Vegas, and here it is. It's happening, and you should feel very proud.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, everybody, for being with us on another Core Truth. We'll be back next Thursday. Everybody, go out and have a nice Thursday, a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.